It's official. Hey, everybody, this is Dr. Simon Dove. I'm super lucky and super stoked to be here with the mighty Michelle MacCarthy, Triple M. She has been serving chiropractic, I think 2009. You arrived in Denver. I've had the privilege of bumping into her many different variety of different seminars. In fact, we were just reliving some of the early years of Mile High, and maybe we'll touch on that again. But Michelle is a get after it kind of gal. That if someone said, what's Michelle like? So over the years, she gets after life. She's a mom, she's a wife, she's a chiropractor serving tons of people. She's a business owner. She's a badass. Oh, now we're PG-13. Here we go. You're bringing out the best of me, Michelle.
I feel like I'll probably be censored. I'll see Danny in the back going,
Right. So Michelle, welcome. It's so cool to be with you. It's been quite a while.
yes, it has been. We've known each other since when I was a student, Simon. So
Isn't that
it's
crazy?
kind of nice seeing the evolution
Yeah.
of our lives and
Yes.
what's happened and all of the things. So
So many things. It feels like 6 lifetimes ago.
it does, but honestly, I look at it and I go, "Oh my gosh, has it really been that long?"
Yes,
And
yes.
it doesn't feel that long, but I'm like, really? Mile High is in its 12th year? Like
No.
how
Ow.
how, right? And our lives have just gone phew.
Yeah, yeah. Well, speaking of which, yes, everybody, if you didn't know, if you've been living under a rock and you don't know, it's Mile High. That's what we're talking about. It's coming up. It's September 26th through 29th. If you haven't registered, please register. And milehighchiro.org is the website. It's got everything you need, the location, the dates, some of the I think the speaker list is there, some of the business strategy pieces, the vision strategy pieces, the philosophy, the art. We're going deep. And it's gonna be, I say this every single time, and it has delivered every single time. It's gonna be better than it ever has been. So September 26th through 29th, don't forget to register. Key point is get the hotel room booked. You don't want to go to a different hotel. You do want to stay at the hotel because some of the magic happens with the conversations and the connections you meet after the presenters. And so you're gonna love it. So yes, Michelle, holy cow, it's been a long, fun, crazy
Yes.
journey. And when I was introducing you, I was talking to you about how you are like a get after it gal. And I love that about you. Like if there's an adventure, if we're studying things in chiropractic, which I remember a million years ago, that your attitude and it shows in your service and your commitment to things in life, you get after it. So what have you been getting after recently? And what are you going to bring to Mile High?
Oh my goodness. I feel like I've been getting after everything. So I feel like I have a kind of like a unique story where I can talk about opening a practice from scratch,
Hmm.
being an associate, buying a practice in a pandemic.
Yeah, well, was it
And
like the month
because I've really thought
before?
about what I want to talk about, and I don't think a lot of people know, and like kind of like the struggles we face specifically here in Colorado, because I know a lot of docs come from outside the state where they didn't have like the same things, where we were gathering, you know, right? Like when it was beginning, we are like, okay, what are we doing? What do we have legally have to do? Like we were like all hands on board, and I feel like there was very different things, and when that's where my foundation and my belief in what we do, I was like, I'm not willing to back down.
Yeah,
Like I was like, man, like they're gonna have to take me kicking and screaming,
yeah.
like hands cuffed, like jail, like the old timers, right? Like I was like, this isn't happening. I'm like, there's too much on the line right now, right? There's way too much. And so I feel like that's a big piece of like what I have to share and what I have to give with kind of my experiences going through all of it. And I feel like there's a place for everybody depending upon what you want to do and how you want to do it. Like whether you want to just start from scratch or whether you want to
Mhm.
become an associate first
Yeah.
or forever. Like it doesn't matter. But as long as it's congruent with you. So that's one of the big things, is like basically taking a practice from a one-man show to now having a team and looking at expanding and doing other things like that, as well as having a toddler. Oh my God.
Uh, that's a game changer.
It's like, and I don't have like an easy toddler.
No, why would you
I
want
have a
that?
toddler that I swear like gets his crystal methamphetamine from somebody that's close.
Ah, that's funny. Well, you start that investigation at the preschool, and I'll support you either way it goes.
Right. Like
Hey.
we're like looking at each other like, are you kidding me? Like he's still going. Like he needs to go to bed. Like
I
what?
know,
This child
little
still have energy.
little Cairo nugget.
I know.
Hey, Michelle, here's a question for you. If
Yeah.
you could put your arms around all the young doctors, just like right shoulder to shoulder, just put your arm over the shoulder and whisper in their ear just one gentle comment to the new approaching chiropractors, what are some things that are important to you that you would want to share?
First and foremost would be like find a mentor,
Hmm.
or find somebody that's going to help guide you.
Yeah.
Because I know that's what I really struggled with when I first got out of school. I had some faith and trust in some things, and I tried, and I really needed that structure. I really needed guidance in telling me what to do and how to do it. And also, like, you don't get trained for being a business owner in chiropractic school.
Right.
I mean,
No.
there's certain things where I'm still like, what? Like, we have to pay what tax? And like, for what? Like, when does it have to be filed by? And we
Yeah.
have to register what?
Yeah.
So there's so many different pieces that, and it's not easily found. So I feel like get into the groups, or find like a group, or like even within like state organizations if they're able to help. Because honestly, like in some of the groups that we're in, specifically on Facebook, where they're asking questions, and it's like, yeah, how would we know this?
Yeah. You do
Like,
need to ask.
yeah, and you need somebody to help you, that you can like
Yeah.
call and be like, hey, like, do I need to register a trade name?
Right.
Or
Right.
like, where do I buy my website, look, like my URL, and like all this like little stuff, like how do I set up email? And those are basic like logistical things that no one's gonna like teach you, and you have to like figure out. And honestly, that's where a big stopgap is, because it's like I don't want to spend like 18 hours on the phone
No, 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 no.
and feel like, especially in Colorado now, where like the FMLA like paid into, and then the time off, like there's so many different things that if you don't have someone that's going to help you, it can be scary.
That's great advice. And, it makes me think I was one of those. You notice the theme in chiropractors that in general were a little bit of the lone wolves of like, just how we are. We just kind of out the rebel, or, I'll do it myself, or I'll do it my way. And I was caught up in that. And there's a gift in it, of course.
Right.
And at Mile High, we see so many students and so many new students. So I think this advice is going to be great. Because for me, I did it the uphill, dumb, long way of like, I didn't get my first, I had teachers, and I
Yeah.
stayed with the learning and developing of my technique. But as far as the business, holy
I
cow,
mean, I was
like
great
10
first
years
coming out of
later,
school. I mean, like I mean, that's how I get to know you as a student,
I,
because we did all the seminars together.
right, right,
And I could step into a practice, and I could adjust people, and I could serve them, and I knew how to serve them, and I knew how to communicate what we were doing. But as far as like getting the people, keeping the people,
yeah,
like finance, like all these different pieces, like setting up care plans, setting up like all this different
yeah,
stuff, like and the logistical things, like that's where I specifically needed help, and that's where I know a lot of doctors need help because yeah, they might struggle with maybe the adjusting piece, but also you now have this business piece.
Right.
And like should be like the science, business, and art.
Yeah. Right. Well, funny, like I think one of the taglines on the website is philosophy, vision, strategy, art. And so yeah, philosophy is close to the heart of for us here at Mile High. It created such a foundation for the whole profession. Like, why would we want to shift away from that? But people that have never been to Mile High, you should know that not only are you going to hear an amazing speaker like Michelle, but you're going to get a variety of chiropractors. So it's not just, overly obsessed philosophy heads. There are people there that are chiropractors that really made it in the field, and they're going to be sharing from the stage about technique, about vision. We're a growing entity. We want to see where we headed, the vision, but also the business. And we'll have breakout sessions. It's not just going to be sitting in a chair listening. And we make sure, God bless Danny and Rochelle. Like they've done such a good
I
job.
mean,
They
honestly,
really,
that's why when Danny calls,
yeah,
I'm like, what do you need?
yeah, total, absolutely.
Like, right? It's like, what do you need? I'll do it.
Yeah,
Like, okay, I'll be there. Like, I've
yeah,
got a bajillion other things, but I'll make it happen. That's why
yeah.
he's like, he calls me like to teach the seminar, and I'm like, yeah, just it's like it was like literally like Thursday evening at like 8 or 9 o'clock, and I was like, yeah, just got home and put the kid to bed and did all the things, and like, oh, he's like, glad you took the call, and I'm like, yeah, he's like, so I'm like, just business owner, like busy, and
Right,
he's like, well,
totally.
I'm gonna ask a busy person to do some more busy things.
At least he's honest, isn't he?
Yeah, but it's like I look at what he does and I'm like, and what he does for the profession and for
Yeah.
the students and for doctors and for our state. I mean, I'm like, I could do a little more.
Yeah. Oh, well, God bless. Yeah, he's super inspiring, he and Rochelle. So for people that haven't been, Michelle and I are, I guess gushing and praising Danny and Rochelle, but really what they have done successfully, and just like you said, Michelle, we're on number 12, which is amazing to even think about, is to create a space for chiropractors to experience chiropractic and not just from one point of view. I mean, the point of view is chiropractic, straight chiropractic, but you're going to hear a lot of different people, a lot of different views, a lot of different techniques. And to create that safe place so we can explore, we can open up to things, we can learn about other things, I think is so important. I mean, obviously, look out in the world. We need to have some of that flexibility to just listen and open up. So, what would you say to anybody who's maybe listening to us and have been kicking around this idea of Mile High? Is like, yeah, I don't know if I should go. Should I not? My favorite new Netflix show is going to be released on the same day as Mile High.
Download it, you can watch it on the plane. Honestly, like right now, I think like Southwest is having some super killer like deals on flights.
Oh, good point.
And like the price for admission is silly, stupid low.
Yeah, it's
Like there's like it's one weekend that if you're like, wow, I really need to like I want to connect with some of my friends, like you'll be surprised who you see there.
oh, that's true. It's
Like,
fun.
oh my God, like last year, Bryant Harris talked and we
Yeah.
graduated together.
Oh, cool.
And so we are sitting there and we're both born on the same day. So we're the birthday twins. And
That's
so I was like, oh
crazy.
my gosh, like you're here. I'm like, this is like a reunion because we haven't seen each other in like 16 years or something like that. And it's so great because I always get to see the people that I haven't seen, or it surprises me who's
Yeah.
there, who I might have seen at like other seminars and things. And I mean, honestly, I just love getting to hear people's stories and getting to know people a little more
Yeah.
than just maybe what you see on the internet, or maybe because they run a program or something. And that's also another piece that I love. I remember when Danny first put out like a poll for people being like, should we open up vendors to everybody? or should we keep it philosophy based?
Mm.
And I remember it was kind of like it was the tipping point for which way is this going to go?
Yeah, yeah,
Because if and I say we because if I have a big instrumental part in Mile High, but as if we like allowed that to happen,
mm,
the whole program would have taken a different turn.
for sure, for sure.
And creating it so it's very philosophy based, because honestly, like a lot of schools are going away from philosophy. Like they're not getting taught about the green books. They're not getting taught about, you know, where chiropractic originated from.
Yeah,
And that to me is very sad because it now is going to be blended into something else. And so if you didn't go to a very philosophy based school, come and get some philosophy, come and get some, right? Like, I feel like that's kind of like what's happening in the world where they're like, this is what really happened with America, or this is what really happened. Like, this is the real, like, path. It's like, come hear what the real path was.
nice. Agree, agree. It is a sad moment. Mile High is a great space to keep that torch going. And while we're talking about Mile High, make sure to, when you register, bring your team with you. You're going to definitely want to bring your whole team. There will be things specifically set up for the teams, which will be helpful. So when you go back into your office on Monday and you're lit up, you don't want to be the only one lit up or having to like light them up. Bring them. It is a
My
very
team loves
intelligent.
going.
Oh, dude, I
They're
bet.
like, we have on the counter and they're like, we got to go, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you bet your bottom dollar you do, because you're like, sometimes it's a tipping point for staff too.
Yeah.
If they're not aligned, like better to have them go, because
Yeah.
like it was actually like when my husband and I first started dating,
Yeah.
and I was like, hey, come to this like event.
Yeah.
And a little background, he's a paramedic firefighter.
All right.
So he's very much been in that medical model, right? Because
Sure.
he's about emergency
Yeah.
situations and what's going to help people in that emergency, right? We're not quite so much that. We're more of the longevity of keeping. He's like, I'm what's going to keep you alive in the next, couple minutes to hours.
Thank
And
God.
you're what's going to keep you alive in like the next like decades to
Yeah.
multi generations, right?
Yeah.
And so there's a place for each, but it was very kind of telling. And I was kind of looking out of the side of my eye, being like, all right, this can either go one of two ways. And of course, like Billy DeMoss comes up on the stage, and I'm like,
Here
this is
we go.
gonna be interesting.
Put on your seatbelt. Well, we'll just have to add that to the Mile High benefits. You can like test dating partners, test staff. We do it all.
It's deal breaker, man. Like either you're in or you're out. Like, and
Yeah,
this will be like, this is the the breaking point right here.
that's it. Oh, I love it. Well, Michelle, thanks for spending some time with us this morning and sharing your little insights and nuggets. And it's fun just talking to you and getting excited about the upcoming Mile High, September 26th to 29th, milehighchiro.org. Go ahead and register. All the information you need is right there. We'll see
Can't
you
wait to
guys
see you
there.
there.
Thanks, Michelle.
Thanks, Simon.